Hello everyone, we are on episode 7 of Udayini Talks, where we are featuring women led businesses and how they are thriving in today's day and age. Today we are in conversation with Dr. Nikita. Hi Dr. Nikita, how are you
Hi
doing?
Ruparna, all good, all good.
So, fun fact, she happened to be this person who actually helped me recover from my injuries, and that is how we became fast friends. And today we actually bond over the love of books.
Yeah, true. Yes.
So, Dr. Nikita, a little bit about your background.
So I have, growing up as a child, I've always been fond of playing sport. Not just being fond, actually I've played. I've been a national level rugby player.
Yeah.
And till I was in the 9th or 10th standard, I wanted to always be a cardiologist actually. But as and when I got into rugby, I got introduced to physiotherapists because I was getting injured myself. And I was like, this can keep me connected to the field of sport as well as get into a medical background. So that is where, till that time, I didn't even know that physiotherapy as a career option is available. Then I started finding it about how does physiotherapy work, what needs to be done, or do I need to give the CET, etc., etc. And that's how physiotherapy actually happened for me.
Okay. So, my question to you is that when you were playing sports, did you not think of sports as a career option beyond the time frame that you were playing, or like why the
Uh,
switch into physiotherapy?
as I'm a person who's been brought up by a single mother.
Okay.
So I knew that sport is not going to be able to, at that current level when I was playing rugby, the rugby was a very private organization. The government at that time was not even recognizing rugby as a sport to pay for the sport. Now things are quite different, but this is I think 15 years down the line that I'm talking about. So I was like, I can't take this as a professional commitment or a full-time career. Of course, it can always be done side by side, but main career has to be something different. And medical as a career was something I was keen on since I was in the third standard. I don't remember the age, but yeah, since that time I've been very for wanting to become a doctor. So that has carried on.
Great. So my question to you is that when you actually decided that okay, maybe physiotherapy is my next best option. So how did you actually go through that process? So you said that you had to research it and then you had to give the exams. So if you could tell our viewers a little bit about that. So how can people get into this profession?
So basically, for physiotherapy, you have to go through the same NEET, which is the All India entrance exam, that is given for all medical entrance for all medical. What do you say? Getting into any medical college, basically. And for Maharashtra, I think there still is a CET. So NEET is at the country level. You can get into the same college via country level. Also, you have a CET, which can give you access to the same college.
Okay.
But again, more preference is somewhere to NEET because that has become the main norm nowadays. Yeah.
Is that how is physiotherapy different as a profession that from uh, being like a wellness practitioner in general? Like you said, because you wanted to be in the medical field,
Hmm.
and then after that you decided to pursue sports, and then you decided that okay, this is the next best option that I can probably go
Keep
ahead
me
with.
connected to sport as well as give me a good mix of both the things that I enjoy in life.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So how is it different? Like if you could describe this profession for our viewers, because a lot of people might have questioned that why pursue physiotherapy, one,
Yeah. True.
and second, if somebody is not from a sports background, can they still do it? So these are the kind of things that people might have questions around. So if you could shed some light on that.
So yeah, you don't need to be a sports athlete or sports practitioner or something to become a physiotherapist.
Okay.
It is just a plus if
Hmm.
you have that, and that also more to do with more in the sports physiotherapy field.
Right.
But in the physiotherapy field, what physiotherapy actually is all about is basically treating and helping patients to get back to their lives.
Okay.
Whether it is, let's say, a person who's come from a corporate background, I'm just giving an example,
Right.
and has back pain. So, our job as a therapist is to get that person back to their corporate life, hale and hearty.
Okay.
How we do this is majorly, completely without medication,
Right.
through the mode of exercise
Right.
and a lot of adjuncts in terms of some electrotherapy machines,
Right.
dry needling, cupping, XYZ, all these different adjuncts that are there. But the mainstay of treatment again becomes in physiotherapy is exercise
Okay.
and certain lifestyle modifications also.
Okay. So if somebody were to pursue physiotherapy today, so what is that first thing that you would tell them?
First thing to tell them is to start exercising.
Okay.
I think this is what I helped me as a therapist, and you can only start practicing as a therapist when you become a therapist.
Right.
But when you're studying for it, also you can always, there are a lot of clinics, like we do welcome students to come and observe. Even when you'll go and observe for a week, this is what physiotherapy is all about. Before you even get into it, you understand that is this something that I would do my entire life? 40, 50 years of your life, if you have to do something, you should, and this is not, I think, only for physiotherapy, but any career option a younger student wanting to choose, first go and see, is this something I can do for 50 years of my life? If this excites you every day to come to work, then I think, please, then everything is possible.
Absolutely. Now, coming to the skill sets,
Yeah.
like as a physiotherapist, what are the skill sets that you think are very important currently, since you're running your business too? That if somebody were to start their own clinic, okay, these are the four skills that they would require. If you could probably talk a little bit about that. Now, these can be soft skills and these can be technical skills both.
Yes. Yeah.
Or it can be any other skill set that you find it is underrated but it needs to be mentioned.
Yeah. So I think, as you mentioned, soft skills is one thing which, in any profession which involves talking to human beings, should be there.
Absolutely.
Unless we are working with machines, which is very less of us. Soft skills is one thing that you should start developing from the time you have an understanding of what soft skills are.
Yes.
So your 11th or 12th standard, from that time you should start developing, or even in the school times, you should start developing on your soft skills. Now, in terms of technical skills, when you pass out as a physiotherapist, first 2 years, as we tell all younger therapists who come to us, uh, give into learning and taking experience.
Right.
Don't directly dive into starting a business or even just saying that I know what is to be done.
Right.
First, learn the nitty gritties of becoming, because your hands, in for a physiotherapist, this is the most important.
Right.
Your hand skill, your understanding of the muscle, your understanding of how a certain exercise works is extremely important.
Yes.
So, and that can only come when you work for the first 2 years or the first year.
Right.
To gain experience, not for how much am I earning or what is the benefit. That is where a lot of us start thinking. And now that I have a degree, I am going to start something of my own. But again, what is taught academically and whatever you learn in colleges is very good. And again, but you're again cocooned by your professors over there. You do not have your own understanding. Like here, if a patient is coming, the patient is completely relying on me, and I have to give the result because the patient is paying me for every session. So it is a lot of responsibility on my shoulders to get the patient better, because someone has told him, like you had come to me, someone
Yes.
told you, "Okay, please go to them and they will definitely help you get better." So for that, I have to take a lot of responsibility again to be able to treat that person. Now that has only come to me. I have 10 years of experience now.
Right.
This has only come to me because the first 2 years I really worked to understand the entire science of physiotherapy, practical physiotherapy, which is clinical physiotherapy that we are practicing. So again, an advice that I would give to all the younger ones in whichever field, not only physiotherapy, that first understand what is the practical implication of that career.
Right.
And learn the practical implication first.
Right. Absolutely.
Get the experience in the first 2 years, and then see that, okay, this is where I am heading. This is the trajectory of my career life or my career growth.
Yes.
Because you understand in 2 years, you're old enough to understand, mature enough, and you're not cocooned by college and professors, because professors will always protect you because you're their responsibility in the college.
Absolutely.
Uske baad is where the real world starts.
Now, a little bit about the real world. So, what is the real world training of a new physiotherapist or a newbie would look like? If you could like describe that, because people might have this question कि okay, college से pass out हो गए हैं, अभी अगले 2 साल what are the kind of things that I might be doing? So,
Yeah.
if you could describe that.
So a lot of pass outs, again, this is bachelor's that you pass out and you can start working.
Right.
And the next step you can do is a master's, or you
Right.
can take an experience and then go. So physiotherapy basically has 4 fields.
Okay.
One is musculoskeletal and sports.
Mhm.
Second is neurophysiotherapy, which deals with all stroke patients and cerebral palsy. I'm just giving examples.
Right.
So all neurological disorders ka physiotherapy is neurophysiotherapy.
Yeah.
Third is cardiorespiratory, which is again patients who are struggling with cardiological issues or respiratory issues like asthma, someone has had a bypass surgery.
Okay.
So they also need rehabilitation to get back to their normal lives.
Right.
And the fourth one is community based, which is a larger, broader horizon, which will have more women's health, a lot of community based services, XYZ, a lot of things that they come into community services.
Okay.
So I have seen a lot of younger therapists, they see when they've passed out, they're confused whether to do orthopedic, musculoskeletal, or neuro. So now you will understand what needs to be done or what is my genuine liking by working in that field actually.
Right.
Like, can you deal, neurotherapy will involve dealing with that one person for 2-3 months minimum. Whereas musculoskeletal, we might be seeing a new patient every 10 days. I'm just talking about one at one slot.
Absolutely.
So you have to also see, can I deal with one person for a year? Can I see this person's face for a year? Or I'm getting bored? This is what you face that.
Right.
Or do you want more challenges, like you want to get a person back to their sport, return to sport is there.
Hmm.
So those things you see, and then decide on that. Do I want to go do a master's? And the other field again in physiotherapy is, one is running your own clinic, second is working in a hospital. Third part is, do you want to go into academics
Right.
and become a teacher in physiotherapy, which is also a very good field.
Right.
If you have to or want to do that, then masters is a mandatory.
Mhm.
But if you don't want to go into teaching or academics, then bachelor's is good enough. Not that you cannot do masters and not hone your skills, but you can still work as a bachelor's. But as a academician, your skill set and your credibility credentials get far higher if you're a master's therapist
Right.
applying for a teaching job.
So when you're talking about the different career options that a
Yeah.
person can pursue, one of the things that recently I've been studying about is the fact that we have a lot of neurodegenerative disorders on the rise.
Correct.
We have Alzheimer's, we have Parkinson's,
Yes,
we
yes.
have all of this.
Yeah.
And in India, especially, the market which actually caters to them is, um, I would describe that it's like it's negligible
Correct.
in terms of like how many people actually offer those kind of palliative services and
Correct.
plus the kind of required physiotherapy services. So, do you think that this is also a good career option to actually
Excellent.
pursue?
Excellent. Again, it comes under the field of neuro.
Hmm.
And physiotherapy as a field is on the rise because of what I can say. Again, 15 years ago, the awareness and understanding of what a physiotherapist does to
Hmm.
today, the awareness and understanding of what a physiotherapist does is far higher.
Right.
People are far more exposed. I
Right.
think kudos to the social media also.
Right.
There's a lot of understanding there. The government is promoting physiotherapy now
Hmm.
far more, as our Prime Minister himself had
Hmm.
recommended physiotherapy as a career option and everything,
Absolutely.
which was not the thing 15 years ago. And
Correct.
again, there is no one to blame, but
Hmm.
the profession of physiotherapy is not more than 50 to 70 years old.
Makes sense.
So it is just growing and growing, and people are looking at options to get their health better
Right. That's true.
without trying to get into medications.
Yeah, because right now healthy aging is the thing.
Yes.
So
yes.
the understanding that whatever I am doing right now, it is going to compound in the next 20 years.
Yes.
So that is
yes.
where probably the understanding stems from.
The exposure awareness is far more, and
Mm.
I've also seen the younger generation, the Gen Zs,
Yeah,
they're far more health conscious.
absolutely. That's
Uh,
so true.
As compared to all of us.
Yes.
We were a little carefree,
Hmm.
but when we see the younger ones coming, they're scared.
Yeah.
They are worried that they want their health to be better. So I think it is a plus that way
Yes,
for the generations to come.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Now, the next question is, could you describe a little bit about the economics of this business? Because you have been in it for some time now.
Correct.
So you would be the best person to actually give advice on the same, that if someone were to actually start a clinic and how to actually go about it. So shedding some light on the same.
So, if you're to start a clinic, again, as I mentioned, there are different. If you're working in a hospital job,
Hmm.
and physiotherapy is one profession where there is a lot of part time and full time job opportunities.
Okay.
So, if you're doing part time as a 4 to 5 hour
Hmm.
slot, if you're working full time as an 8 to 9 hour slot that you're working.
Okay.
So, the pay scale also varies over there depending on your skills
Right.
as a fresher, as an experienced therapist, and then there are home visits,
Right.
which should not add to the credentials of your curriculum
Right.
or your CV, but yeah, you again a good source of earning a little bit of side income.
Right.
But where you're visiting people's houses and treating them.
Right.
So that is one. Then second part is when you start a clinic. So you need to have a certain capital to be able to start a clinic, depending on how posh
Hmm.
or how you simple you want the clinic. Baseline starters, you need 5 to 7 lakhs to
Okay.
start a
Okay.
unit.
So this is where you also factor in the cost of the equipments and
Everything,
Okay.
like start to end, everything.
Okay.
And of course, the recurring cost you have to keep in mind is
Hmm.
if you've taken the place on rent,
Hmm.
so the rentals are there.
Hmm.
Every monthly cost of the electricity bill is there, whether it is your own place or whether it is a rented place.
Absolutely.
The third cost would be if you're going to be employing some therapists with you immediately, if you have that kind of load.
Hmm.
So their salaries is one recurring cost every month.
Right.
Fourth thing would be if you are having any housekeeping staff that you're going to be keeping, like
Hmm.
housemaids or someone that you need to clean the place. That is another recurring cost. It would be
Right.
3,000 rupees.
Right.
The salaries depending on, are they working full time, are they working part time, do you not need them, are you going to be the whole and soul of the clinic
Hmm.
for that? And touchwood, if you're doing very well, do you have a reception staff?
Right.
So that is also one more area of cost which you have to keep in mind when you're starting. Before you start a clinic, these things have to be written down.
Right.
So this is the capital and these
Hmm.
are the recurring costs.
Right.
Because anywhere to set up a clinic, you have to give yourself a minimum year.
Correct.
So you need to be having those costs of a year in your pocket or
Hmm.
in your account to be able to run the center. Of course, you will start having patients, but not necessarily that you will be having patients. What do you say? Starting day one.
Right. Of course. Yeah.
Running a business also is to deal with a lot of sitting khali till the patient comes,
Absolutely.
and then there are your marketing costs.
Yes.
How you're doing the marketing? Everyone has a different way. Nowadays, social media is one of the biggest forms of marketing.
Hmm.
There is a lot of people, like the old school people, like we are a little old school that way,
Yeah.
where we don't go too much on social media, but we go at word of mouth. So again, for that, as we were also talking earlier about skill set,
Right.
you need to be very strong with the quality of therapy that you do.
Right.
So
That's very
again, in
true.
the first 2 years, get this strong. You need to really know your job very well. Like if Ruparna comes to me as a patient, I need to know what is the exact issue, identify and treat her and guide her on the future if this issue can come back and how can she deal with the issue.
Absolutely.
So when you have that is when you will have more word of mouth references coming, which will be a solid base of
And in your case, actually,
reference.
that has actually been the thing.
Yes.
So, whoever in my friends and friend circle and everywhere, we recommend actually people going to iPhysio.
Yeah.
What is that one thing that you can say is a differentiator? Because I'm pretty sure there must be other physio clinics across Pune and other cities too.
Yeah.
But for some reason, iPhysio is a very known name. Because that is something that people need to understand. That this is how you actually be in business for a very long time without having to market yourself like aggressively on social media also.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I think that one thing would be the quality of care.
Okay.
And does it come from your heart?
Right.
Are you doing it as a business?
Mhm.
One, like I could start this unit as a business and say I have to earn an X amount, and so chalo start kar diya.
Hmm.
But then is it going to come from here? Will be the differentiator for you to learn to be able to do longevity.
Right.
Is this an extension of myself?
Right.
So iPhysio is an extension of myself, or I am an extension of iPhysio. It literally is that way for me.
Absolutely.
But does that work for a lot of other therapists who are running their own centers or for any business for that matter?
Yes.
Someone who's running a cafe or someone who's running a store also, is it an extension of them
Right.
or are they an extension of that business? It has to be that way.
Right.
That will definitely guarantee longevity.
If I were to ask you that what has been some of your biggest achievements since the time you have been in this business, and these can be very small, these can
Yeah.
be very insignificant also in terms of like the larger scale of it, but you know that it comes from your heart. So if you could share that on camera.
So one of my biggest achievement, I think, is to be able to, I would use this word, secure a mentor for myself.
Right.
And I would again tell everyone to first find a mentor in their fields.
Right.
Because they will be the ones who will be able to guide you in the best way possible.
Right.
With your best interests
Hmm.
in place, not their interests. Because
Absolutely.
the way the world is heading, thinking of someone else's interest comes very second place. So
Yeah.
to find a good mentor is one thing.
Hmm.
And second, when patients come and say that, yeah, because of you all, I'm being able to do this today.
Yeah.
that just lights up my day or my week. They always say that I have an 85-year-old auntie who comes to me, and she's doing her exercises, and she's like, because of you, I'm being able to pick up my grandchild. I didn't have the strength in my arms, and I'm like,
That's so
chalo,
wonderful.
chalo, we've done something good.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I think that is what keeps us going.
Yes.
That is the challenge. Like when every patient comes to me, I look at it as a challenge. Like, क्या करना है आपको?
Hmm.
Okay, I will make as much as possible to the best of my abilities, unless it's a very unrealistic goal. Like I had someone who was a 75-year-old uncle. He came, I want to run a marathon. I had to sit him down and tell him that we will get you to, do a jogging, and we will get you to do a running,
Hmm.
but we'll go slow and step by step. Let's not have it as the immediate goal. Let's keep it as a long-term goal.
Yeah.
That's not possible,
Hmm.
but we go step by step over there. So that I think that is the biggest achievement for us.
Now, there's this one thing that I've observed, that whoever are the people who have been mentored in Iphysio, whoever I have worked with, there's this one beautiful thing, that is the empathy for the patient who comes in.
Yeah.
Like right from the way they talk to the patient, right, the way they bond, the rapport that they create with that person. If you could shed some light on how do you actually train them, how do you actually help them to understand this better, because this is a very big differentiator when it comes to actually sustaining in a business of service.
Correct.
So
Absolutely.
yeah, if you could tell
So
something.
I think again a lot of kudos goes to my mentor, Tariq
Right.
sir, who was also
Hmm.
the most senior most physiotherapist in our organization,
Yes.
and the founder of Iphysio also, of course.
Right.
So he has gotten certain forms of training, and it's only training every day.
Hmm.
But also to say that, Rupana, I would say that you either have empathy or you don't have empathy.
Right.
So you cannot fake empathy for a very long period of time. You can
Okay.
do it for a few months, you can do it for a couple of years, but you can't do it back to back year
So
on
when you
year.
recruit people, do you actually, so how do you test people for the same?
It is on the it's on gut feeling. Honestly, it's only on gut feeling. Like ye kar paega. We are wrong, not that we're right every time. We
Absolutely.
might go wrong also, that maybe this person wasn't meant for it,
Right.
because it has to come with empathy.
Absolutely.
And it again, as I said, it is only inborn.
Hmm.
You are genuinely a person who cares, that, and it is simple. Like if I see a patient coming, climbing up, it is slippery outside.
Right.
My reception staff also is a person
Huh.
who immediately goes out to help that person. That's not a part of his job.
Yes, that is
It
very important.
it has to
Yes.
come from within,
Correct.
and you can maybe cultivate it
Hmm.
through reminding yourself constantly to be empathetic towards,
To become more human.
to become more human.
Yeah.
But it again, it's only a matter of you have it or you don't have it.
Right. Now, when it comes to actually running the business,
Hmm.
since we talked about empathy, what are the other values do you think that you have to stick to when you're running the business? At times, you have this kind of advice coming to you that, बिना एथिक्स के भी बिजनेस चलता है. हाँ,
Yeah.
यू हैव टू, धंधा करना है तो ये
True.
छोड़ना पड़ेगा,
True.
ये छोड़नी
True.
पड़ेगी.
True.
So, if you could actually tell our viewers a little bit about that these are the values that you can actually stick to and still do this.
Yes, definitely. I think that's a very important question.
Ah.
So I think practice what you preach.
Okay.
Don't just tell the patients to do it. Are you
Okay.
yourself doing it?
Okay.
So when I tell you a certain lifestyle modification when you had come to me,
Right.
was I doing it myself? If I
Walking
tell you,
the
okay,
talk.
do this
Yeah.
in your life, am I doing it myself?
Right.
If I'm recommending my patient to do a standing work desk, is it there in my own clinic?
Right.
Are my physios doing that?
Right.
If I'm telling you to do this kind of an exercise, am I able to do it myself? And that one value where there is no difference between if an injury happens to me. I'm talking about the physiotherapy business because that is all I know basically.
Right. Yeah.
So if I get an injury, will I do the same thing and I tell my patient, or will I do it differently and I tell my patient differently?
Hmm.
So that is one very important skill set, to stick to the core of
Right.
your what you've learned, what you have been taught, and are you practicing the same thing?
So you walk the talk every day.
Yes, yes.
Absolutely.
And of course, then the other things always come into picture, that discipline, punctuality. It goes without saying. Like
Right.
if those things are not there, whether it is a business we're running with physiotherapy, whether it is a restaurant you're running, whether it is you're running anything, an IT company you're running, if you don't have those basic disciplines and things in place, then that doesn't work.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I think it was a wonderful conversation that we had, and I'm I'm pretty sure our viewers are actually going to find a lot of value in terms of how to about it into this
Yeah.
profession, and if they were to actually start a business.
Yes.
Thank you so much, Nikita, Dr. Nikita, for giving your time.
Nikita
And
is good. Nikita is good. Thank you so much. It was a lovely talk with you. Thank you so much for
same
coming.
here. Thank you so much.
Thank you.